Tight hamstrings can be a real pain in your butt and in your back and also in your knees. Maybe you've been trying a bunch of hamstring stretches, but you're just getting frustrated that you're not making any progress. Maybe you've been doing a bunch of hamstring stretches and you are making progress, but you still feel like there are weird positions where your hamstrings are really tight. I've been in that situation too. No, seriously, my hamstrings have really given me problems over the years. For example, even though I can bend over and touch my toes pretty easily, anytime I've tried to add a little more weight to my toes, my hamstrings feel super stiff. And anytime I want to add like a little bit of a twist to the motion, or if I'm like this and have that kind of twist, everything feels super stiff in my hamstrings. So today I'm going to show you 2 hamstring stretches that I've recently added to my life that are already starting to pay off for my tricky tight hamstrings. The second one has been an absolute revelation for me, and I think it'll help you unlock massive hamstring and hip gains as well. So let's get ready to think right, move right, and feel right. So the first hamstring stretch just requires something low in front of you that you can put your foot on, and maybe if you want a stick or something to help you balance, you can use that too. You're just going to go into this hamstring stretch, find a position that doesn't feel like a huge challenge right off the bat, and then you're going to add a little bit of a twist. You want to bring the pelvis along for the ride, so it's not just your rib cage twisting, it's also the pelvis twisting. So this left side pelvis comes in closer to the right leg. You're going to hold that and breathe. You're going to be focusing on feeling the stretch through the hamstrings here and up into the glutes. To increase the stretch, you want to hinge forward more, making sure that it's the whole pelvis coming along, not just your spine and your rib cage doing this. You can also increase the amount of twist to increase the sensation, and also add some more hip flexion, closing this angle down as you come in. To add more spice and to build some strength and length into these muscles, you can use contractions. One way to do that is to think about bending the knee a little bit, so you're firing the hamstrings in this position, holding that contraction, and then relaxing it, and then either dipping in further or rotating more. So you're firing the hamstrings in that stretch position. Another way to do it is to think about driving the foot down towards the ground. It's like a chop, and then relax it and try to either go deeper in or more to the side. Whatever works for you is fine. If this is really difficult for you, there is another variation that I find that works really well that I'll show you. So if you can't find an angle that feels right with that standing version, you can also try this on the floor with a strap. Just make sure you have a nice long strap, and don't be surprised if your hands get tired trying to manage the different positions and angles. I find this variation works really well for me in bed or on the living room floor. Just remember to keep breathing when you find those tight spots, and take your time and really explore different positions. Quick interruption here. If you do want to get your hips to be more flexible and more mobile so you can do more stuff in your life, be sure to check out the Healthy Hips program that you'll find on my website at uprighthealth.com/DIY. That's where you'll find all my do-it-yourself programs to help you rebuild your body at home. And while you're there, you can even get a free program called the Body Rebuilding Basics. If you want to go directly to that free program, it's at uprighthealth.com/BRB. Go get a program that'll help you, and it'll help me make more videos that help you. It's a virtuous circle. All right, let's get back to the video. This second hamstring stretch is a really nice one for me, and I hope it's as nice for you. Just make sure you have a decent amount of grip with the floor underneath you. If you're wearing socks on hardwood floors, you're probably going to fall on your face. Put your hands on something sturdy in front of you, and then start backing your feet up and get your low back super arched, like you're trying to hold water here on your low back. You're trying to make a nice deep bowl there so the hamstrings and the deep glutes get challenged. You want to find that stretch through the hamstrings. You're kind of pushing into the surface in front of you, but not letting your hips go behind your feet and get way back here initially. You want to just keep the hips a little more in front of the knees and the ankles, and then really focus on getting into that deep arch in your low back. Go slow with this and explore different angles. I've found that when I'm at higher angles and working on that back arch, that my hamstrings really want to force me to cheat by just bending my spine. So I need to really focus on feeling the hamstrings, and sometimes it can get real shaky because the hamstrings are really weak in that position. Right now, there's a little bit of quivering happening in my hamstrings because they really are that weak. I'm not even faking this. I hope it shows up on the camera, but this shaking is for real. The hamstrings at this angle, which is not a very deep amount of hip flexion, are really confused and unable to stabilize. Another way to make this more of a challenge is to get light on your fingertips, light on your upper body, so that the hamstrings are the things that are working to keep you in this position as much as possible. You can do little pulses, so you're using those hamstrings to lift up and then go back down. You can also think about digging into the floor and pushing back to really fire the hamstrings and make them get used to working in this lengthened position. No matter what angle you're exploring, remember not to push your hips so far back that you're behind your feet, because this will change the demand on your hamstrings, and it might be why you feel like your hamstrings are still super tight. For example, if I do a hamstring stretch where I allow my hips to shift back, I can get super deep into a nice forward fold. But if I don't let my hips shift back and I want to keep more weight into my toes, like if I were falling forward, then it becomes a lot more challenging. Having my weight forward means my hamstrings have to work harder to keep the torso in position in space. And having flexible hamstrings while still having weight in your toes can be really important for your balance. What happens if you are trying to recover from a situation where you have folded forward and you need to still have weight in your toes? Well, if you don't have the ability to do it, you gotta bend your knees, use your quads, and straighten up your upper body, which might result in you bailing off your board or in whatever sport you are participating in. If, however, you have the flexibility to be hinged and put weight into your toes, it might save you, it might help you carve harder, it might help you recover from what would otherwise be a really bad bail, and bails suck. So when you're doing this stretch, be exploratory with different angles. Have your hips way in front of your toes, have your hips a little bit further back, have them way back if you find that that's something that's difficult for you, but make sure that you are exploring and not just going to the same angle that you already find easy, and really focus on using some of those contractions to help you build strength. Another really helpful thing to play with is the amount of knee bend. More knee bend is going to aim the stretch up into the higher hamstrings and into the glutes. So use that, rock side to side, and see what you can find that's hiding in there. Just make sure you keep that arch in your low back. Keep thinking about pointing your butthole back at the wall behind you, and that's going to help you get a stretch deep into those muscles. The hamstrings, not your butthole. As with all new stretches, listen to your body and remember that slow is safe and fast is foolish. For that first stretch, start off with 2 to 3 sets of 1 to 2 minutes on each leg. If that feels like too much, you're probably trying too hard and going too deep and too intense. You can also reduce it to 30 seconds and then just gradually build up. For that second stretch, obviously there are no 2 sides on that one, so you're doing 2 to 3 sets for both legs, since you're doing both legs. If you are a total newbie to stretching, start off real conservative with twice a week, like Monday and Thursday or Tuesday and Saturday. And as you get more familiar with your body, you can bump up the frequency. Just don't cripple yourself with soreness, please. Use those contractions that I mentioned earlier, but start with a light intensity and gradually build it up. It'll help you build more strength and length in those lengthened positions. You can get more details about using contractions in your stretching in the video about how to stretch properly that I'm going to link in the description box and at the end of the video. I'm working these stretches into my own routine, and I've already seen some good results in the first couple weeks, and I'm excited to see what happens over the next couple months. I'm also excited to see how these feel for you, so please drop a comment down below and let me know how it goes for you and your tight hamstrings. In an upcoming video, I'll show you some other ways to supercharge this hamstring stretch to relieve hamstring stiffness and also relieve hip and back pain. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out when I release that. And if you'd like a comprehensive program to help you make your hips more comfortable, more flexible, and more strong, be sure to go to uprighthealth.com/DIY and check out the Healthy Hips program. I've got a comprehensive program that'll help you build your hips back to a healthy state. And if that's not your interest, but you want to sleep better, you want to live better, you want to just feel better and have more energy, go to uprighthealth.com/BRB for the Body Rebuilding Basics. It's got free workouts, tutorials, and strategies to help you get better sleep, eat better, live better, do everything better. So go check it out because it's going to help your whole life, you know, like no big deal, right? I've also got more free videos to help you with stretching and your tight hamstrings right here. Be sure to check those out. Like and subscribe. I'm going to get back to stretching. As always, remember that pain sucks, life shouldn't.